Hello everybody, this is Dr. Pasternak. I have a new little helper this year. It's a new addition since our video last year. This is Forrest. But this is just a quick video on some tips of how to tick-proof your yard. So we'll talk about different ways that ticks are brought onto your yard and different things that can be done to try to minimize that. So the first thing to think about is why ticks are coming onto the yard. They're either crawling basically from the woods to your lawn, or more likely they're getting transported onto your yard from different animals. And this tends to be primarily either deer or mice. So if you have anything that encourages deer to go on your yard, that's definitely going to put your yard at higher risks for having ticks on it. So one thing is, if you do have a garden, trying to enclose it with a fence to discourage the deer from actually being able to go eat your good fruits and vegetables, that's going to be helpful. So just doing some sort of basic fence around it to keep them away is going to be one thing to discourage deer, not only from eating your good fruits and vegetables, but also from just favoring being on your lawn. The other thing is, if you do have any apple trees or anything like that that's fruit bearing, that's also going to encourage the deer population onto your property, which, while beautiful and delicious, isn't always the greatest for tick prevention. Another way that ticks come onto the yard is being transported on mice. So this is a really big problem and primary way that they get on people's lawns. So you want to think about different reasons why mice are encouraged to go on your lawn. So a big one is any sort of wood pile or wood chips, whether it's like stacked wood for a fireplace or just wood chips in general. So for example, here we have our fireplace, and we have piles of wood here, different piles of brush. So not the best, honestly, for trying to prevent mice from being over here. The further away you can have this from your house, the better. The further away you have it from the normal places you're walking around, the better. Our video that we did last year, we explained how to make tick tubes. So we'll put a link for that so you can refer to it. But basically, if it's unavoidable to have brush piles or wood piles, this is a really great place to put tick tubes, just to try to kill any increased ticks that are coming in on mice. Another area that really encourages mice to come onto the lawn is in rock walls. So this is tricky in New England because usually rock walls are all around houses and properties, but anything like rock walls around where are we here? Rock walls around trees like this, or even up closer to the house. Again, it's beautiful, it's nice to have, but that's just another place where mice get to live and hide, and the closer that is to our property, the more likely those ticks are falling off on our yard. Another thing to think about is the environment that ticks like. So typically they like to be kept cool, and they like to be in moist areas. So this is typically why they're more commonly found in the woods, because in the woods it's shaded, it's not too hot. They like to be under brush where they can stay cool and stay kind of damp. So obviously walking through the woods, you're at increased risk for picking up ticks. Whereas on your yard, if you can keep it hot and dry, you're really discouraging that tick population. So making sure that your lawn is well mowed, keeping the grass not too high is going to help keep it really dry. And that hot heat, the ticks don't like to crawl around in that. So it's going to discourage them from being in the places that you more regularly walk around. There's certain plants in the area that increase or attract ticks, and this is primarily Japanese barberry. This is an invasive plant, but it's a decorative plant that a lot of people intentionally put in their yards. If you don't know what it is, I would search it. We can get some good resources for ways to identify it and remove it. But getting this away from your house is also a good way to discourage ticks from being too close to your property. There's also various sprays that can be done, and I know this is a bit controversial. We typically don't encourage the use of chemicals and such. There are some chemical-based sprays, but there's a lot of natural-based sprays as well, where a technician would come and literally just spray the perimeter of your lawn where the woods meets your lawn, just to try to reduce any population that's coming in from the woods. So hopefully that's helpful. We're happy to share more resources on this. You can feel free to send us messages or any questions if you want further advice on it. But just starting with those tips would be a really good place to start reducing the population. All right, thanks. Bye.